Boom.
What's up, buds? Welcome to another episode of the Earbuds Podcast. This is a podcast where two friends talk about one good album for a good amount of time. But today we got a special episode. We have two, I was going to say customer. We got two fan customer submissions.
Yes.
To our little deli of musical meats.
Now we know how you see our listeners as customers.
Well, it's like money, just like money and like things.
All we see is transactions. We're trying to get the bag.
I just see the fucking cash ins and cash outs.
I know. I know you. I see you, Brett.
We're going to be talking about these two albums. I, as always, am your one of two co-hosts, Brett, fruit flavor edible, hand. Join with me, as always, Lucas, chocolate flavored edible.
I was really hoping you go with chocolate. What up?
We got... Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. We're going to be talking about two records today, Brett Jamin.
What do we got on the chopping block today, Lucas?
First, we're going to be talking about a Bay Area, I believe, rapper called Mozzy. His album Beyond Bulletproof that was recommended to us by Damon Garcia. So thank you to Damon Garcia. He commented on one of our reviews on YouTube, and he said that we should listen to Mozzy. So we're doing that now for you, dude. And then after that, we're going to talk about a band called Aesthetic Perfection. Thank you to Ross for recommending that one too. So yeah, man, first one's up, Mozzy's Beyond Bulletproof. I personally had never... whoa.
Sorry, I need to get my notes for these.
Oh, you pulled it out of the trash? Yeah. Oh, are they soiled?
I tried to soil them, but I kept missing, which is weird.
You're just not holding back at all, and you're immediately on your thoughts.
I am sorry for the people that submitted, or
Damon Garcia.
They didn't even know we were gonna do this.
No, they didn't. Damon actually recommended one or two songs by Mozzy, and we were like, we don't do songs, dude. We do whole albums. So we took one of those songs that he recommended, and he said listen to, and we decided to listen to that album, Beyond Bulletproof. And dude, I gotta say, I agree with you balling up the notes and throwing them away. Like
it's gonna be a rough one today. Sorry if y'all are watching.
Yeah.
But let's get into Beyond Bulletproof.
Let's get into it, man. One of the things that definitely stood out to me about Mozzy is he's a good lyricist. Like, he legitimate.
I would say that is the best part of this entire album.
Yeah.
As far as lyrics, I watched a little mini documentary on this album.
Okay.
It just showed him giving out like food
Turkeys.
and clothing and stuff to people, and he seems like a really cool guy. He seems legit, you know? And so I feel kind of bad for not really giving a shit about this album.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's weird to recognize that there are a lot of good things happening on this record, and at the same time, I don't enjoy it. It's weird. Like, I would definitely say, like, Mozzy is a great lyricist, like we've been saying. That it's cool, like, conscious street lyricism. It's kind of positive, leans towards the positive, but also it's really realistic about, living in a impoverished area, but also it doesn't really romanticize the roughness that he sees all the time, which I think a lot of rappers do, is they kind of romanticize like the gangster lifestyle, and Mozzy doesn't do that in his lyrics. Like, there's very few times where he's like, he literally has a song called Body Count, which I understand what he's getting at there, but none of it feels like he's celebrating the dark, horrible shit that happens in these neighborhoods. Like, he sees it every day, he's calling it out, he's very real about all of it. He's calling attention to it because he thinks we should be talking about it, and I like the lyrics, but they also, I think the issue with me is that it started feeling like he was talking about the same shit over and over and over again on every single song.
A little bit.
Yeah, it became so same.
And if we're talking same, it's crazy. You've seen this guy's discography.
Yeah.
You've seen how much stuff this guy's been involved in, not just stuff on Spotify, just like mixtapes and features and just stuff he's been involved in, and it's just crazy to me how like cookie cutter these are. The most basic beats I've heard in
Yeah.
so long. Every single song sounds like a copyright free rap beat that you would get off YouTube.
Oh shit. Oh man, that's
And it's like, I don't like saying that, but that's just kinda
that's
how it
rough.
is. And
I get it.
I f-
I
you
get it.
don't I feel like you don't have to innovate in order to have good music or to have respect in the music community.
Right.
But like, wow, it's like
Yeah.
really nothing to get from 90% of the music. on
Yeah,
this record.
I would call the genre of these types of beats California trap
Yeah.
beats, right? It has it has a lot of California vibes, a lot of like piano being used, a lot of synthesizers being used, but all that trap beat, that like that type of very fast-paced snare, an empty snare, empty hi-hat, and then like a
Yeah.
broken speaker, kick drum. I like most of the beats on the record, but also felt extremely same. Like by the time it got to Bulletproof Fly, I think is how it's
Bulletproofly.
Bulletproofly, they started sounding exactly the same. And then and that's song number 5, and there's like
It's a
17
13
tracks.
song
Okay,
album.
there's a lot of fucking songs in this. So by song number 5, I was like, all of these are starting to sound the same, and it started getting really fucking boring. So I'll say that my favorite songs on the album are probably the ones with the most unique beats on the record, because so many of the
Yeah.
songs are just the exact same fucking thing over and over again.
The um the honorable mentions and choice nugs kind of just had those slightly different beats, maybe not even different, just like ones that
Just
I was like,
enough.
oh yeah, this is
Yeah,
pretty good.
there was some element in it that you could. It stood out to you, right? Like I think that's
Though
definitely
he
part of it.
does, Mozzy does, he seems like he has a natural kind of chorus hook
Yes.
talent ability. Like he does have a lot of catchy songs and a lot of catchy choruses and stuff.
Which in my opinion, the choruses repeat way too many times, because these
Yeah,
songs are all
that might
really
be thick as
long
well.
too for rap songs, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, man, again, I respect Mozzy for his lyricism and his wordplay and everything. I think he's amazing, honestly, at that. But there's something about his voice
You don't like his voice?
I I'm not sure.
Ah.
I'm not sure why I don't like his delivery and his voice. Like, it's so hard to explain. I can't qualify why. I just don't like. I don't like how pretty much all his vocals are doubled. Is part of it.
Sure.
Because he's not doing anything different with that doubled vocal, that second vocal. He's doing the exact same delivery. It's just like the exact same thing, just put over itself, and it kind of doesn't add anything to it. Didn't add any depth to it at all. He has the same delivery on every single song. But it's hard to put exactly in words what I don't like about his voice in particular. I just don't.
I
And
you
it,
know
you
I
know,
do.
and for
So
a
maybe it's
long
just
album,
a personal thing.
yeah, it absolutely is. Like, I'm sure there's so many people that don't like Eminem because of his voice, or like Big, fucking MF Doom, man. Like,
Sure.
I
Yeah.
I completely discounted MF Doom the first 5 times I heard him because of his voice. So it's not to say that Mozzy won't grow on me, but I definitely would need to hear something different from him for me to for my ear to perk up. Which he did release a new album recently, so maybe I need to check it out.
I mean, who knows? Like his discography of music is so extended. Maybe he's already done some crazy experimental stuff. It'd be impossible to go through the entire thing.
The amount of lyrics that he writes for each song is insane.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
another. Yeah.
yeah, and so you're thinking a 32 bar verse or whatever is a lot of words he's writing for that. And then he has, would you say 13 songs on this album? So he's
13. Yeah.
yeah, he's doing that 13 times. And then he also has like countless fucking mixtapes. It's insane
It's
how much this guy
actually
writes.
Kind of crazy.
It's fucking insane. So again, respect, shout out to Mozzy for just the amount of fucking stuff that
He's
you
got
have in you to
hustle up
write.
the ass.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Let's talk about some choices.
Yeah, man. I had a couple of songs that I liked on this album that didn't end up being my favorites. Like Unethical and Deceitful, I thought it was a cool opening track. kind of set you up for the whole album, right? Like a pretty decent, cool, trappy beat, conscious lyrics. And I would say my other honorable mention was maybe... I don't know.
It sounds like you're deciding it right now.
I am. I'm kind of reading through my notes a little bit. I don't know, dude. I don't think I had another honorable mention, to be honest. I didn't write it down. So I would say my first choice nug, my first song on the record as we were listening to it that really stood out to me was Body Count.
Yep, that one's got a very catchy hook. Why
Super
you gotta lie
catchy.
about the body count?
Yeah.
No.
Which is repeated way too many times, but I give them a pass on it
Yeah.
because I love the beat. It's my favorite beat on the record as well.
I
The simple piano
definitely-
line, the like weird quick bass beat, the like really quick kick. I love I love the broken speaker sound. And honestly, I'd never heard King Von before this track, R.I.P. to King Von, and he was pretty fucking good on this record, man. I think I like his verse the best on the whole record. I think I like King Von's verse better than any of Mozzy's verse on the whole record, and G Herbo was barely on there. And I hated G Herbo's verse, which tells you how much like I kind of didn't like the rest of these songs. Is G Herbo had one of my least favorite verses on the record, and it still ended up being one of my favorite songs. I hate that fucking offbeat rapping. I can't stand it.
I'll give you some insight into some of my choice nugs.
Give me some insight.
Honorable mention, I Ain't Perfect. I kind of liked the chorus.
Yeah.
I liked the feature a lot. Was probably my favorite part.
Which, how do you pronounce that dude's name?
I mean, it's probably Blast, right?
Blast, maybe? Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not a
I think
fucking... not a Gen Y-er.
Off the Muscle, I think, was probably the best beat on the record.
Off the Muscle.
Yeah.
It was probably the most intricate beat, right? Like the most layered beat on the record.
Yeah.
But it sounds a little outdated. It sounded like an early 2000s rap beat, like with all those reverse cymbals that they kept doing, and like that that really,
a lot of those.
yeah, a lot of those, that really burpy synth, and the female's vocal sample all felt like very early 2000s hip hop.
But my first nug is gonna be Bulletproofly, the fifth track. I think it was probably the catchiest one. It's the one I think of if I ever think of this album, which isn't very often. But just bulletproofly and something else. I thought it was very personal.
Yeah.
And like that little kind of reverby delay guitar. It's like a good enough beat.
Yeah, it's good enough. I mean, it's hard for me to say a lot of good things about Bulletproofly because it is the song that made me start feeling like,
I think, yeah. I mean, if it's hard in the context of any album, just because you get so fatigued so quickly, and you lose attention, you lose focus.
It's not true. You said of any album?
Of this album.
Of this album, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's really hard to keep focus, but
It is. Man, I noticed that the other day too, like how delivery and cadence is so important to me in keeping my attention. I didn't notice it until I'm doing this Ganjier shit. I told you about that, right?
I don't think so.
You know a sommelier?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going hard on my Ganjier shit because I have the time to do it right now.
Ganjier.
I know. I prefer Sensimilier, but that's a topic for another day. But
My
I've been
worst.
doing this Ganjier stuff, and man, it's all so fucking interesting. It's all cannabis education, right? But like, I watched maybe 6 or 7 lessons in a row. I was super, super into it. Then it got to one guy, and the concept, the topics were super interesting. The first one was all about terpenes, and teaching you everything about different terpenes and what they do, and how the combination of these terpenes, like the different effects that they give you. Super cool, super next level, like it's the future of cannabis for sure. And then the next one was like, what is a strain? So it's like, whoa, like the combination, just the concept of like, what is a strain of cannabis? Like, how can you, when you say a strain name like Blue Dream, like what does that even mean?
Yeah.
So that was a cool kind of like breakdown into the science of it and everything. So I was like,
but
the speaker was, he paused after like every 2-3 words, and he kind of stuttered a little bit.
Oh
And I didn't realize that, dude, it took 5 seconds, maybe 8, at a time that he was losing my attention.
Oh shit.
And I probably lost everyone's attention just telling that fucking story. But my second choice snug on Beyond Bulletproof was The Homies Wanna Know.
The Homies Wanna Know.
I think it was some of the most personal lyrics to Mozzy on the album. It wasn't just like hyperbole or just talking about life and things happening around him. Like, he was talking about his like personal shit and his upbringing, and I give him credit for doing that. I always give credit for artists that are willing to be that vulnerable and that open about stuff, like where we've talked about, like, goddamn, like that fucking Steer Mag song where it's like she's talking about her dad and saying it's like, it's crazy sometimes, like how personal people will get. But I really like that about The Homies Wanna Know. I thought it's always really impressive to me when someone's telling a full on story and fucking rhyming and doing it really, really well at the same time. It's really impressive. So
Mozzy does that well.
Yeah, Mozzy does that well. So The Homies Wanna Know is my second one.
Well, not too far from that one. Big Homie from the Hood.
Yeah,
is my second choice snug. It's the last song on the album.
I thought it sounded like a Brandy beat.
Yeah.
You ever listen to Brandy?
A little
back
bit.
in the day? Yeah.
It was just like a good, smooth, bittersweet feeling kind of beat.
Yeah.
And
kind of like the slow track. It was the ballad. It was a typical closing track for a record.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so, like, maybe I was just excited that I got to the end of the album. But,
well, dude, what would you rate Beyond Bulletproof?
Man, again, I hate to be so critical of this guy because he seems like he's doing real good work.
Yeah. And he just recently
really
is in jail now. He's having some legal trouble now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he seems really respected in his community. He has a huge discography, but I'm gonna give this one like. I'm never gonna listen to it again. I'm gonna give it like a 4.
Ooh, okay.
And that's that. I mean, yeah, well, because the production is good, the music is good, like, it's nothing bad, but it's so cut and paste and so similar, and there's nothing for me to, like, grasp onto.
Right. I get it. I'm with you, dude. I'm gonna give it lower than a 4.
Shit.
There really wasn't a lot for me to take away from this besides Mozzy. Here's the thing, dude. You're an amazing lyricist, but I'm sorry, I just don't like your delivery, your voice, and I hate the beats that you pick. Like, I'm sorry, it's just, it is what it is. So it's just not my style.
I'm sure he won't be crying too much about our
he's
opinions
never
anyway.
He's never gonna hear this anyway, so I'm not that fucking worried about it. But I'm gonna give it, like, man, to be honest, I'm sorry, Damon, sorry to do you like this, man, but I'm gonna give it like a 2.6.
Fuck.
Yeah. There were those 2 songs I liked, and even then I only really liked Body Count a lot. Like, The Homies Wanna Know was a reach for me. I just had to find a second one.
Sure.
So,
yeah. All right. Well, let's
switch gears. Let's switch gears. Thank you, Damon Garcia, for that recommendation. Guys, keep them coming. We don't hate everyone's records.
If you want to hear your favorite music get trashed.
No, well, that's the thing, is we've done one of these episodes already. We listened to Nas' King's Disease, and we listened to Sleigh Bell's Jessica Rabbit, and we liked both of those. So we're not trying to shit on y'all's style, but we're just giving our honest opinions, man. So with this next record, that's a great introduction for the next album that we're going to talk about, because I have a feeling I know how you feel about this album. It was brought to us by Ross or Ras. Thank you for the recommendation. It is Gods and Gold by Aesthetic Perfection.
Into the Black.
It's Into the Black by Aesthetic Perfection. I was confused because Gods and Gold is the song that Ross wanted us to listen to. And again, guys, if you're going to recommend something for us, recommend an album. Okay, not a song, because that's what happened with this one. We looked it up and we saw that it was just one song on an album, and I said, fuck it, let's listen to the whole thing.
I mean, it
So
wouldn't be the first time we just listen to one song on the podcast.
no, it wouldn't. But and I guess maybe that'd be easier on us to just take songs that people recommend and listen and just talk about those songs.
Maybe if we feel this way about the records, we could do that next time.
Yeah, we'll just talk about the
We're
song.
learning.
But with that said, man, Aesthetic Perfection, Into the Black. What the fuck is this record, Brett?
Man,
Is this dubstep metal?
I found a description on the Wikipedia. Agrotech.
Agrotech.
Yeah, that description made a lot of sense to me.
It does. It does. There's not a lot of information about this band, and next to no information about this record other than it's their 6th album. So
Yeah, it
tip of the
seems
cap
like,
to use for 6 records.
It seems like it's mainly like one person
Yeah.
that's kind of fueling this tank and writing all the songs and doing everything.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, that's amazing enough as it is.
Yeah,
if it's
I
just
mean,
one
and
guy.
I don't think he's doing all the instruments or anything like that, but just like one person behind any project or production is always it demands a little bit respect. But
Yeah.
fuck, man,
Holy shit.
do I hate this guy?
Oh, wow. See, here's
is
the
like-
thing. I enjoyed this way more than Mozzy.
I
Way more. I mean, it is really unique music, to say the least, right? What else have you heard
I
that
don't-
sounds like this? Name one other band you've heard that sounds like this.
I don't know, man.
Exactly.
If I knew that band, I wouldn't fucking listen to them. You know?
Well, apparently this is for fans of Grendel and Suicide Commando and God Module and Reaper. I mean, a whole bunch of bands that I've also never heard of before. But I would describe this music, dubstep metal is pretty much like a breakdown, but I would say to put it in like comparing it to other bands. This is like if Skrillex fucked Rammstein and Prodigy.
It's not even that cool.
And Prodigy,
It's
right?
not
I'm
even-
naming way cooler shit than that, but I'm saying like it's industrial metal mixed with dubstep and mixed with pop music. So it's a really weird mix of stuff. Like it's some parts were very strange, but some parts were like a Rammstein song, and then some parts sounded like Lady Gaga. It could have been a Lady Gaga backing track. You know?
Yeah, it's this guy isn't afraid to venture into other vibes, other moods,
Right.
maybe even other genres of music.
He could have sold Wickedness to Lady Gaga, and it probably would have been huge if she had written that fucking song. If she had released that.
That's true.
Right?
You know, and like I don't think Prodigy is unfair. I don't think I mean
Skrillex.
it's mostly just like EDM. Like the way I pictured it is just like an EDM DJ on stage and some fucking dude comes on and just starts doing screamo.
Just starts screaming. I gotta say though, Daniel Graves I liked his voice a lot. I thought it was pretty fucking awesome.
I fucking hate his
Oh,
voice.
you don't like it? Dude, you're not at least impressed with what he can do?
No.
His
I don't
screaming,
know.
and he's a beyond decent singer. I would say he's actually a pretty fucking good singer. Like he can scream really well, he can get loud, he can get aggressive, but then he can get really poppy and really pretty. Like he to be able to do both, and in my opinion, do them well. Come on,
I
give him his fucking rose, man. You gotta say at least he has a good
so-
voice.
Yeah, he has a good voice, but if a good voice sings shit music in a shitty way, then it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter how much talent someone has. If I don't know, like
If everything that's
all this
around it, the
criticism-
whole package of it all, it's like you can't at least admit that the guy has a good voice, though.
He has a good voice, but so
Okay.
what? You know, you could be
Yeah.
Eddie Van Halen, write some shitty music. It doesn't matter. That
Sure.
part doesn't matter to me.
Sure,
You know,
sure.
and if
So
it's-
it was
if
the
we're looking
music
at-
that you hated a lot.
It was the music. It was his voice got grating to me after a while, especially I like just the screamo voice, his airy, high kind of screamo voice that he does got on my nerves.
Yeah, I can see
And
that.
I know I'm being extremely unfair with this guy and this music.
Yeah, you are.
But it is exactly the music that I'm just not into at all.
I feel like it's really good gaming music. But it's also, I feel like people listen to this while they like pretend to drink blood and act like Euro goth vampires too.
Yeah,
Feels
and
very
maybe that's the
gothic.
part that grates me. Because
Yeah.
after the first couple songs, it does calm down a lot more.
Yeah, it gets
You
way
know?
more poppy than I expected.
Yeah.
It took a turn, like, because those first few songs are loud and aggressive, and he's screaming. I didn't expect to hear that level of dynamic throughout the album.
would
I was like, this
say
is it. It's gonna be a wall of sound for 40 minutes. You know.
no. I'd say most of the album, like 85% of the album, is kind of honestly maybe more singer-songwriter electronic music than like
Yeah.
dubstep or hardcore or
Yeah.
anything
I
like
agree. Honestly, I think if if all this music was played on standard instruments like guitar, bass, drums, and a synthesizer and packaged in a different way, I honestly think it'd be a lot more popular because it's most of the songs are really catchy, and they can be played on like on an alternative rock station, and I wouldn't bat an eye if it was played with like guitar and bass rather than all these really loud electronic instruments. You know.
Sure, but you know what? It looks like this guy's gotten a good, loyal, almost cult following.
Yeah, they seem
You
like
know?
they must be huge in Europe, right? It feels so European.
Sure.
It feels
yeah.
so European,
And
but like I love the production a lot though. I thought like with how much was going on, with how loud the music was, and how like grating it could be, just kind of reminded me of Sleigh Bells in the way that it was produced, where like everything was very clear, and it wasn't like it didn't bother me to listen to it all to the point where I like the production so much I actually enjoyed a lot of the songs. Like I think a lot of it was like really loud, ultra loud synthesizers, right, and like exaggerated kick drums and exaggerated percussion and everything. And I think it was I don't know, man. I think because like I listened to it after Jessica Rabbit by Sleigh Bells, and I was just like, all right, man, fuck it, I'm gonna listen to Aesthetic Perfection, and it was kind of just like a slight veer to the left. You know?
I mean, I feel like if you started from track 4 on, you would have an entirely different
You
opinion
would,
of the album.
yeah. It would be a pop record essentially, like just an electro pop album.
And so I think, yeah, all the stuff you said, Sleigh Bells could very well be. Well, it's mostly like the percussion from Sleigh Bells, I guess.
Yeah,
Would be
exactly.
The main aspect that they take.
Yes.
And that kind of hard, very beefy, very pounding production at times.
Yeah, like I mean, it was pretty much across the board, but even songs like If I Die, like it had more of all the synth stuff that you had already heard, really loud in your face synths, which I wasn't like complaining about. But If I Die almost had like a pop punk melody in the chorus, like, and then they all of a
Right.
sudden they go back to industrial metal, which is again like, I'm like, this is like Sleigh Bells. You know, it's just like it's a different version of Sleigh Bells. Like Supernatural, I thought was really cool. All the vocoder stuff they were doing, like Gods and Gold, I thought was a great opener. It was like weirdly radio friendly, and he kind of like raps during Gods and Gold, which is kind of weird. And then there's like really poppy parts, and then it sounds kind of cheesy, but then it gets like really loud and aggressive and Rammstein-y, and there was a lot for me to like on this album. Like it was not at all what I expected, because I'd heard Gods and Gold, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna have to listen to a whole record of this.
Right.
You know, because as much as like I liked it decent enough. Yeah, I was like worried, and then the album like really really surprised me. I would say that my biggest complaints are that you basically hear in the first minute of every song, you're gonna hear everything that you're gonna hear for the next 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't really take the songs anywhere once they've gone through the verse and the chorus and the interludes or whatever. You're just like, all right, now cut and paste, basically.
Right.
You know, but the songs don't really go anywhere, but that's kind of like what you need to expect with this type of music. Like when you hear this type of stuff, it's like I didn't really expect it to go anywhere, so I can appreciate it for what it is. It's all like very straightforward song structures, you know.
That's the thing with electronic music and
Right.
just like club music in general, is that it's usually very repetitive just because it's trying to get you in this space and almost trying to like
Trance,
drone
dude.
you out in a
Yeah.
little bit,
Yeah,
you know, and just get you in the mood.
I think that's
And-
my appreciation for songs that don't really go anywhere sometimes. Like I like the songs that are just kind of like they play one chord for 3 minutes, you know, because I'm just like, man, there's just something like, yeah, like you said, psychedelic about it, like something that just kind of puts me in a trance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very trancy.
Dude, and like super catchy choruses on the whole fucking album. Like No Boys Allowed, super catchy, super dancey. Echoes,
Yeah.
you know, the Saint Peter, YOLO, like all of it. Like there were just so many songs that got stuck in my head after I listened to this album that surprised at how much I liked it, man.
I'm
I'm surprised at how much you hate it.
I'm really glad that you like it.
I didn't expect you to like it, but I certainly didn't expect you to dislike it this much.
Yeah,
that's surprising.
It's all unfair. It's almost so personal that I wonder if it's just a problem that I'm dealing with. That like I'm so angry at this guy who's done nothing to me. But it's always a hard sell if you give me an artist. And my biggest mistake was watching a music video by them.
Oh, I haven't seen any of those.
I just I hate this
aesthetic
vibe and just this like sexy evil gore but poppy, man. And he's got the face paint, he's got the look, and he's, you know, that stuff is a really hard sell for me, so much so that
it's kind of a big reason why there's a lot of metal bands I haven't gotten into. They're just like so theatrical and just like, okay, like I don't need the whole makeup, you know.
Which is something that I wish I didn't deal with, because those bands make good stuff, and it's not like I'm against theatrics. It's not like I'm against dressing in a certain way for the music, but it to me, the only vibe I got from this dude is like, oh, look at how crazy and weird and sexy I am. And
right.
It's like, I don't.
There's a lot of dominatrix vibes, a lot of lace and leather vibes, a lot of Davey Havoc vibes.
Let's get to choices.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I would say, you know, the songs that I enjoyed that weren't my favorite, my honorable mentions were Gods and Gold, Supernatural, If I Die, and Morning Doves. I liked all those a lot, honestly. So my first honorable mention, or my first choice nug, is Wickedness.
Wickedness is also one of my choice nugs.
I love that deep house vibe, man. It's so much dancier and almost like heavy pop. Like that's seriously, I thought if Lady Gaga was singing the song, it would blow the fuck up.
And it just seems it's a very danceable groove. It kind of
great rhythm.
Reminisces of Daft Punk a little bit.
Yes.
With the like melodies that come in. And
I would love to hear this like in a club, you know, with really, really good speakers. It would just like boom, 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 like just that driving. It'd be so like an eargasm.
That was the main reason I chose this as one of my choices, because I just imagine myself in a club just like dancing to it.
Yep.
You know, and it's kind of the same way with No Boys Allowed. It kind of has that same
super dancey
drive, like 4 on the floor,
yeah,
dancey club, strobe lights, all that.
Same with Supernatural, straight 4/4 beat. You know, like really dancey stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wickedness. Like, so what is how are you in the club? Are we talking shirt off, shirt just fully unbuttoned?
I mean, it's half a shirt. It's a crop top.
The top half or the bottom half?
You're gonna have to find me to figure it out.
I think you're gonna stand out no matter which one it is. I do mesh. I'm a mesh guy.
Yeah, you're meshy.
When I put on Aesthetic Perfection, I just went through and I fucking macrame'd a fucking mesh shirt for myself.
Well, that I'm gonna have that picture in my head for the next
You're welcome.
week, and the next time I get busy with my hands. But until that happens, I'm gonna
keep your hands busy, bud. And idle hands are a devil's plaything.
Okay, and that ain't too bad sometimes. You know what I'm fucking saying?
You gotta let the devil play every now and then. He'll get restless.
My second choice nug is Gods and Gold.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It is like
great song, dude.
I would say this is the most deserving of aggro tech.
Yeah.
Of like dubstep metal screamo. I think it's one of the only songs that actually uses the screamo in a way that I feel is justified.
It works really well, right?
Yeah, because like he uses it a lot on this album, and it's kind of in the same way that Sheer Mac, like you said before,
right,
was kind of using this one voice they found. It's a lot better on this album than that one. He does have this soft, calm voice. He does have this sing-song voice.
Yeah.
But he just throws this screamo voice out at random, you know?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, why is that even there? This is like, I don't know.
I don't know,
Like,
because you have those really poppy parts in Gods and Gold, and honestly, if anyone else was doing those poppy parts and singing it the way he was singing it, it would be so much cheesier. But it's just like such a nice flip side to how aggressive. And I think one of the guitarists of Rammstein is like plays guitar on this song.
oh, wow.
So like it
Yeah,
has
well,
that Rammstein-y,
yeah, it's
industrial
almost kind
feel.
of it's like a breather from when that
Right.
music does come in and it's got that drive. You
Yeah.
like very evil, very moody sounding song, and this is, I believe, their opener, which makes sense.
Oh, that'd be a killer opener. Yeah, man, that's a good choice, Snug, man. It was definitely one of my favorites on the album. Do you have any other honorable mentions? Did we already talk about those?
Nah,
Okay, well,
no honorable mentions.
my second choice, Snug, is Echoes. I loved that song.
Echoes.
So chill, like so chill that I normally wouldn't like it, and it's almost like
Yeah.
too chill for the record for like how crazy and loud the whole album was up until that point. But I liked it because the chorus really got me. It was super catchy. Like I love all the woes in the chorus. It made it super catchy. It just kind of
Right.
like blended into the record until that bridge too. That like it makes you think that the song's about to explode, and then it just goes right back to the dancey thing, and then it goes into like, and then it gets aggressive, and it's like no, they don't. He doesn't take you
It's
there.
very much teasing you the whole song.
And it makes you like it made me want it so bad, and then he didn't give it to you, and it just like he goes like right back into that super dancey chorus that I just like I had to respect that. I was like, you motherfucker, like you're not gonna do it, are you? Like he fucked with my expectations, which is always a plus. Like with movies and TV and books and everything.
Right.
Like we listen to so much music too that you can predict where melodies are gonna go sometimes, even if it's a song you're hearing for the first time. Like you're like, oh, and you're like, like you're just like, yeah, that's what most people would do right there. Like
Yeah.
I can kind of predict where a riff is gonna go or something like that, or a solo, just because we've listened to so much music. That surprised me. That caught me off guard, and I was just like, you motherfucker,
It's like, hey, yeah,
you
know what?
motherfucker, you got me.
Hats off to you.
Yeah, hats off to yous.
To use.
So what's your second favorite song, man? Second choice, Nug.
It was Wickedness. I shared that with you.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, Gods and Gold was your second one.
Yeah, it was Gods and Gold and
There you go.
Wickedness.
There you go. All right. Well, cool, man. So, what would you rate this album? 0 to 10, decimals allowed, Olympic rules count.
Which one is the worst one? 0 or 10?
0 this time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be
we
closer to
we
that
flipped
one.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry,
It was
Ras
already-
Ross.
It was already. I feel so bad because from a cursory glance, it seems like she's like very much into this band and kind of involved in the community.
Yeah, it seems
so
so. Yeah.
I feel bad shitting on it, but this album and just kind of hits all the sour spots for me. And it's not even I don't think that it's objectively bad music. The production is good. The lyrics are bland and whatever to me. Kind of copy and paste from just like lyrics of any other song.
Yeah, lyrics are not great. That's for sure. We didn't mention that part.
But there are some good musical moments, and I know what this artist is doing, and they seem to be doing it very well. They've amassed a good, loyal following, even if maybe not the biggest one.
Yeah. Any brownie points for catching you off guard?
Nothing about this album caught me off guard.
Okay.
It's exactly what I kind of expected it would be. From the album cover, I kind of feel like I already listened to this album.
Right.
And so it's very personal take. This one is very personal.
Spicy.
I hardly ever feel like this, but man, this one, even if he is a good vocalist,
This is gonna
I
be
don't
bad.
like. It's
This is
gonna
gonna
be gonna be a 2 from me.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go lower, man. I was
No,
starting to
like,
tense up.
I recognize there's good shit and it's very personal.
Yeah.
And I just like, I fucking watched a music video and watched live shows, and I was like, I just want to fucking. I'm not gonna say what I want to do to this guy.
Okay.
Or it'll
Wow.
incriminate
Wow.
me.
Yeah. Well, all right.
I want to
2.0.
hate fuck him.
Whoa, you said it.
No,
You went ahead and
just
said
the
it.
fucking, not really the fuck part. I'm sorry.
You just want to hate him.
I just want to.
You want to hate finger him.
I want to hate finger him. Thank you.
You want to hate rim him. That's fine. I get it. I
feel like his. Never mind.
Yeah, let's move on.
What's your favorite rating for this album?
My favorite rating for this album is going to be my rating, and this completely caught me off guard. In a very, very good way. It surprised me many times over while I was listening to it. I haven't gone back to it since I've listened to it, the first couple times, but then it's not like that's not for any reason. It's because I'm fucking listening to new shit like every single day. So I just don't go back to a lot of records, to be honest now.
Yeah.
But I really liked it, man. I liked the production a lot. I love all the instruments and the synthesizers and the percussion that he used. I thought it was super, super catchy. I was impressed with Daniel Graves as a vocalist and just as a composer and songwriter or whatever. Like, all of this I was just surprised at how much I liked it. So, I'm giving it like a 7.6.
Fuck off, dude. Come on.
No, I'm just as surprised, if not more, than you are. Like, honestly, like, I didn't think I was gonna like it that much, and I didn't think I was gonna be this impressed with it. Like, literally, as I was sitting down taking notes and listening to it at first, I was just like, Gods and Gold was playing, and I'm like, that was fine, that was pretty good. And then as it kept going, I was just like, dude, am I really liking it this much? Like, am I really liking this music? It is so not my style. It's so not what I would normally gravitate to. So that was a nice surprise. Thank you, Ross, Race. How do you pronounce it?
You got one person on your side.
You got one guy on your team. I'm in your corner over here.
And one person vehemently against you.
Yes. But buddies, what did you guys think of either of these albums? What was Beyond Bulletproof and Into the Black? Like, let us know what you guys thought.
Which one of us throughout this episode made you more angry and like you wanted to punch kind of more in the face?
We both had very strong opinions on each of these records. But it was fun, man. Like, it doesn't happen often, but when we completely disagree on something, like, I enjoy the fucking the volley. The volley. I enjoy the discourse of it all. Guys, keep recommending albums to us. We would love to listen to more listener submissions. We have a few more on the list already, actually, so we're going to be coming out with more of these in the future, but keep bringing them in. Find us on Instagram at EBPcast. Find me on there at Jean the Guitard. You, search for us on YouTube if you're listening to us right now. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow, give us all that shit. Comment on our stuff. It helps us out, and we want to keep doing this and like reaching more people and getting more recommendations, because there's nothing more that I love than having music recommended to me and me recommending music to people. Like, that's one of my two favorite things in the world. Brett, what would you rate this episode?
You know what? I'm gonna rate this episode a fucking... Let me check my notes.
Okay.
Real quick.
I'll give you your time.
Yeah, if you could just like not pressure me.
No.
And like not rush
Dude, I'm
me
chilling.
like you are.
I'm chilling. I was barely paying attention.
Oh, are you chilling?
I'm chilling.
Are you just fucking...
I'm chill.
Dude, we don't even gotta like end this episode. We could just fucking chill if you want.
Don't threaten me with a good time, but I'll chill you under the table. I'll chill you fucking out the wazoo.
You know what? I'm gonna give this episode a 10 out of 10.
Damn!
I sat back in my seat and I realized I got a new chair and it feels real nice.
I was wondering. It looked new to me, and that's a good look for you for the whole episode, man. You should be that chill the whole time.
I think I ought to just stay down
there
here.
There you go. See, angle the camera down so you get a good angle. We can learn a thing or two. There we go. Look at that. Look at my big boy.
Gotta get the full package.
Look at my big boy. That's 230. That's 230 of raw juice.
That's a fucking weird angle. I don't like that at all.
Well, you're gonna have to get used to it, dude, because the people want it. I'm gonna rate this episode pretty good.
Pretty good?
That's pretty good out of 10.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. Bye, Brett.
Bye, Lucas. Pray for my thumb.
I'll pray for your thumbs.